Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. So I got a couple of about 3 clips going into this whole ice thing. I tried to get to it earlier this week, but some things came up. So, I'm doing it now through the spirit. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And the whole world has gone mad, man. People have lost it. People have lost their minds. This is not like no protests and clashes and riots like it was in the past. This is different because, you know, we are closer to the end. Things have happened that no one would have expected to happen. It has happened. And people want blood. People want justice. You've been hearing people say to hell with peaceful protests. We've been peaceful. And it's not getting us nowhere. The same thing is occurring, is recurring, you know. So it's not going to change nothing. So you had this other devil get, put down by ICE, got put on ICE. Goes by the name of Alex Petty or Andrew Preddy, whatever his name is. Which, the more I look at, these types of stories, the more I think about it being a psyop, man. But people do lose their life, during psyops. He could have very well lost his life. The same with the other chick, man. They both were devils. Then on on the other side, you got with all this going on, you got a lot of people saying, why aren't so-called Negroes participating? Why are they not out with boots on the ground and causing chaos and havoc? Well, whenever Negroes do get together, it's a different type of spirit. It's definitely a different type of spirit, and Negroes have gotten smart over the years because when you hear what most of them say, they saying how if they go out there, that's when the National Guard is going to be deployed, and things are going to go to another level. So, they're saying just to pretty much stay out of it, and they're telling the other, Jakes to stay out of it. Northern Kingdom, they pretty much are being forced in it, but like the Southern Kingdom have said, we told you so, man. We told you and showed you how these devils get down. You can't trust them, and you thought because a lot of so-called a lot of Northern Kingdom so-called Latinos, they took the bait. Some believed that because they were light skinned and had straight hair that they would fit in with these devils, but these devils hate you just as they hate so-called Negroes, man, and you're gonna find that out, and you are finding that out right now. But soon, this devil just gonna start putting you to death. He not gonna lock you up. Me personally, I think these two Edomites being put to death was just a soft landing on what the hell they finna do to Jake out here, man. Sooner or later, It's going to come down on the Southern Kingdom. You know, because ICE going in your house now, they don't need a warrant. So things are getting real tight. And the revolt is huge, man. So let's read that again. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. And who's Jacob? The so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. And in the time of Jacob's trouble, that's trouble on the whole earth, man. All nations gonna catch hell during Jacob's trouble. But Jacob is the only ones that are going to be saved out of it, man. That is the elect of the nation of Israel. Right? That is only the Israelites, the elect of the Israelites are going to be saved out of this time. The rest of you other nations, you're through, man. This kingdom is through. This country is through, and you through. Right? So it says, but he shall be saved out of it. Jacob. It didn't say, but all shall be saved out of it. It didn't say this is the time of all nations' trouble. Right? It didn't tell you that this is the time of all the Israelites and Gentiles trouble. It said Jacob's trouble. Jacob gonna catch hell. So is the whole earth. But Jacob is going to be saved out of it. The 1/3, the elect. So let's get into these clips, man. I'm gonna try to run through them. Yahweh Shem Shah willing, the elect be edified. This is more on that devil being put down by his own people, man. So
President Trump now says he wants to see a full investigation into the shooting death of Alex Preddy by Border Patrol agents in Minneapolis. And did you see overnight a concerning scene there when a man rushed Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar at a town hall? Let's get more from NBC's Alice Barr.
Hi there. The latest developments in Minneapolis come as the White House has been trying to lower the temperature, changing up leadership on the ground, and taking steps toward working with state and local officials to restore order.
And DHS Secretary.
In a new sign of the boiling tensions in Minneapolis, Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar confronted at a town hall overnight by a man who tried to spray her with something before being dragged out and arrested.
We're going to keep talking.
Omar, a frequent target of criticism from President Trump, including last night, hours before the incident.
We're letting some great people come in. They have to show that they can love our country. They have to be proud. Not like Ilhan Omar.
Omar has pushed back before, saying she has an unwavering love for America. Right before the confrontation, she called for the resignation of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, part of a growing chorus from both sides of the aisle in the wake of 2 deadly shootings in Minneapolis by federal law enforcement in 3 weeks.
I've lost confidence in her. I had great hopes for her and the department.
President Trump standing by Noem.
I think she's doing a very good job. The border is totally secure.
That as the president backed a full investigation into 37-year-old ICU nurse Alex Preddy's fatal shooting, while asked if he agreed with some of his administration officials casting Preddy as a domestic terrorist in the early stages.
I haven't heard that, but certainly shouldn't have been carrying a gun.
Local officials say Preddy was legally carrying his gun, and new details from a preliminary internal Customs and Border Protection review NBC News obtained. Well,
wait, he said he shouldn't have been carrying a gun, but can't you get a license and a permit to carry a gun? I don't know what the laws are out there in Minnesota, but you know, in some states you can open carry, you can conceal carry. Right? If it's registered, man. So this devil, he just a big hypocrite, the same as all these devils, man. They all liars.
That in the struggle, 2 officers fired their weapons 5 seconds after an agent yelled that Preddy had a gun, and that one of the agents then said he had Preddy's gun after the shots were fired. That report does not say that Preddy attacked officers or was brandishing a gun, as Homeland Security Secretary Noem initially claimed. At least 162 House Democrats are now backing an effort to impeach Noem, while the battle over funding her department could lead to a partial government shutdown at the end of this week. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
So, you got people on the fence with this. Some people, they agree with it. Some people, they don't, So it's a lot going on in the world. And, this devil was put to death by his own people, man, by his system, right? By his system, man. The system that gave him privilege put his ass to death. And we don't feel sorry for near one of these devils, man. Right? But with all of this going on, and ICE still on top of the Northern Kingdom, you got the chaos brewing all throughout the land of America, man. Babylon the Great. And it's not going to let up, man. Over there in LA, they get down when it comes to protests, man. Just watch, the Rodney King incident, man. See how they got down. They always been like that, man. So, hey, man, a lot going to turn up, man. And we just watching. This is 2 Esdras 8:50. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, man. Many great miseries, man. People are in misery right now. People are stressed and depressed and looking for some type of peace, and they can't find it. So, they're crashing out. They're crashing out, man. Right? And the elites, they knew this was going to happen, man. They knew this was going to happen. They knew people was going to get chaotic and tear shit up. This is what they want, man. But, Esau, he makes moves and he thinks he has everything under control. And when Yahweh Shem Yahushua is the one running the show, pulling the strings. Right? He's the puppet master. And everybody's a puppet, man. And he moves them however he want to move them. Regardless of who you think you are. From the highest to the lowest. Everybody's fulfilling the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua on the planet. Right? So it says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride, man. And like I've always said, man, in America, people are the most proud. They're the most proud, man. You can't tell them nothing. They're an American now. They're making an American dollar. You can't tell them nothing, man. They walk around with they head held high, and they're just full of themselves. But now reality is setting in, and the way this country always felt about you is coming out. And you feel like you've been tricked. So you crash out, man. And that's what you see going on. So let's check this out. You see a lot of Issacharite flags, so-called Mexican, right? Issachar getting hell put on them like crazy, man. And a lot of these people that you see in the crowd, they agents, man. They agent provocateurs, man. They've been paid to come out there and cause up trouble and break shit and turn shit up. So that way, the police or ICE or anybody, they justify them to going in there and roughing people up, maybe somebody getting put to death. You know, there's a lot of shit going on in these protests, man. This is why we tell, you know, Jake, man, to stay away from these things. Like I said, the Northern Kingdom, they was kind of they being forced into it because, you know, ICE, you know, just completely fucking with them. Right? And soon, this thing is going to shift. Soon, you're going to see a pushback that a lot of you know, law enforcement and you know, enforcement period wasn't expecting. You know, because, you know, for decades they've been protesting. You know, peacefully, fists up, whatever, walking through with signs and chanting shit. And when law enforcement come out, it's pretty much people backing up, and, you know, it's pretty much no fighting them. But the Lord is about to put a spirit on these people to rumble, man, to bring in the royal rumble. And in that rumble, people are going to die. People are going to be hospitalized. People are going to be all broken up, you know? So this thing is at the door, man. Never have you seen, this is an everyday thing. Protests, riots, uprisings, right? Seditions. You have never seen this much, this, you know, simultaneous, as I can say, right? These things are simultaneously happening every day, right? And this is in America, supposed to be the greatest country on earth, richest country on earth, United States. but nothing is united. Everything is divided, man. So now you can call it the divided states of America. All right, I got one more. Right. So it's pretty much the same thing in LA. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. So everything has a season, right? When things grow, when things die, right? So we're going to jump down to verse 8. It says, a time to love and a time to hate. What spirit are people in? A hateful spirit or a loving spirit? A hateful spirit, man. It says a time of war. It's a time of war, right? And a time of peace. It's not time for peace. People have tried to be peaceful, man. But the more people are peaceful here, the more they're stomped out, they're locked up, they're bruised up, right? So people, got that spirit of war on them now. Now they're ready to turn up and set it off. Now they're ready to do it, man. Now they're ready to push it to the limit, right? Let's get Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50 and verse 22. It says, a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction, right? Plain. Let's read it again. Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battle is in the land. You just seen it. A sound of battle, man. It says, and of great destruction. Because that destruction is about to be great, man. You're about to see things that you've never thought you would see in this country, man. You're about to see a natural. I'm not even going to say natural. You're about to see a side that is going to become natural to people, man. That vicious, flip side that you hear about. You always hear people say, oh, people, they got this side, and then you got another side of me that you don't want to see. And this is the side that you're not going to want to see, man. So this will be my last clip, and we're going to, I'm going to get a couple more. We're going to close out.
Good evening. I'm Micah Ullman.
And I'm Cher Calvin saying enough is enough and calling for ICE out. Millions of Americans took to the streets in a coast-to-coast call to action.
From Los Angeles to Minneapolis, New York to San Francisco, demonstrators demanded an end to the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. A majority of Americans are at odds with the president's immigration enforcement, saying ICE tactics have gone too far after the shooting deaths of American citizens Renee Good and Alex Preddy, killed just 17 days apart in Minneapolis.
Our coverage begins with Mary Beth McDade with a look at protests that took place all across Southern California today. MB.
Yeah, Mike and Cher, earlier today, people got their messages out peacefully. But tonight, things changed and unrest broke out. Several people have now been arrested.
Clashes between protesters and police Friday night in downtown LA. This after police declared an unlawful assembly and told people to disperse and issued a citywide tactical alert.
We're dispersing because we're afraid of the state and we don't want to experience state executions.
Thousands of protesters voiced their opposition to ICE and Donald Trump's immigration policies in front of City Hall and by the Federal Detention Center. They They shouted, held signs, and some painted their messages on buildings and buses.
They're the ones breaking the law because they're the ones that are out here tear gassing, pepper spraying people, exercising their rights to a First Amendment speech. And all these ICE agents are out here kidnapping people without a warrant. So they're in violation of the Constitution. So what I got to say is ICE and Donald Trump.
Hey, she's right, man. This whole ICE setup, man, is against the Constitution, man. You cannot declare war on your citizens. And that's what's happening, man. That's what it is in a nutshell. War has been declared on the U.S. citizens, man. You Babylonians, right? You Babylonians are at war with Babylonians. This is Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, right? That's what you see. This is modern day Egypt. Right? These people you see on the screen, these are spiritually Egyptians, right? In modern day Egypt. They're against each other, man. You got them going against the government, them going against law enforcement. The regular citizens are going against them both. You got, the Senate House against each other, man. You got people in Congress fighting against each other. You got one side with the president, the other side not with him. It's division on all levels, man. It says, Isaiah 19:2 again, it said, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone his brother and everyone his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom, man. Right? What you see? Abolish ICE, right? It says, stop ICE terror, right? Justice for Alex Preddy, man. Which that dude, Alex Preddy, man, he looks like a small hat, man. You ask me. He's a small hat, you ask me. Right? But all of this was a setup for Jake, right? And it backfired. Because Jake ain't out there, man. You might have one or two idiots, out there. I'm talking about the Southern Kingdom because, like I said, the Northern Kingdom, they're being forced into it because, they kidnapping and doing pretty much what they want to the Northern Kingdom. But the Northern Kingdom, they're gonna get fed up, and something is gonna happen where it's going to shift, and the Southern Kingdom is gonna wind up out there, man. Right? Everything is according to the Lord's will. And this is Jeremiah 50:33, where it said the children of Judah and the children of Israel were oppressed together, man. We are being oppressed together. If you can't see it, to hell with everybody else, man. All these nations, they came together to destroy us. They came together to push us out the way and pretty much blow us in the wind, man. They came together to completely annihilate us, man. So to hell with the mother nations, man. The so-called Chinese, Japanese, East Indian, African, Arabs, all of them, man. And first and not least, definitely not least, the so-called white man. They was in league with each other to destroy the children of Israel, which are the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. So, yeah, man, this is why this is all going on, because we have to end. Right? Let's continue.
While many protested peacefully, as the day wore on, tensions rose and some demonstrators could be seen throwing trash and bottles at police. In response, police used pepper balls and tear gas for crowd control. Mayor Karen Bass reacted to the rallies.
I think the protests are extremely important, but it is equally important for these protests to be peaceful, for vandalism not to take place. That just hurts the city. That does not impact the administration.
Protesters also took to the streets across Southern California as part of a national day of ICE out rallies taking place across the country. Large groups marched in Boyle Heights, East LA, Burbank, and in front of a Target in Woodland Hills. Protesters accusing the chain of cooperating with federal agents, which Target denies.
To see that they are not even protecting their own employees, to think that you aren't even safe in your place of employment.
Large crowds also rallied in Orange County at the Federal Building, La Habra, and Mission Viejo. And students raised their voices by walking out of schools in Santa Monica, Pasadena, Cerritos, and Redondo Beach, to name a few.
When Mayor Bass spoke a few hours ago, she said at least 5 people have been arrested. Now, I just spoke with the LAPD. They say at this point they don't have any tallies for me. We should mention that protests are expected throughout the weekend. For now, reporting live here in Hollywood, Mary Beth McDade. We'll send back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, there it is, man. Proverbs 28 and verse 10. Because this devil, man, he got a very harsh judgment coming to him, man. Right? It says, Proverbs 28 and 10, it says, whoso causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way. And who did that? Esau Edom. Esau Edom whole setup, his whole system promotes wickedness and evil. This is pretty much all you can get into, man. This is all they allow and support. So the Israelites, being under this system, being under this rulership, this is all they're seeing, and this is what's popular, and this is what's happening, and this is the trend. They're going to roll with it, man. And then they push them to doing it. So the Lord said, whoso causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself unto his own pit. And these 2 devils that got put down by ICE, that's just the beginning, man. That's nothing compared to what's going to happen to these devils in the near future, man, when the Lord returns. Right? It says, but the upright shall have good things in possession, man. The kingdom. Right? The elect, they're going to receive the kingdom, man. Right? Under Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and the 144,000 amongst other Israelites, man. Right? So it says, oh yeah, let me get another one. This is Jeremiah. Don't feel sorry for these devils, man. None of these other nations. Jeremiah 30 and 16. It says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for praise. So the Lord is going, everything that these nations did to us, now it's their turn. Right? And they're going to receive their portion, and they're going to drink of that cup of judgment, man. Esau Edom is going to get it double, and he's not going to obtain any mercy. All these other nations, they're not going to obtain any mercy through the 1,000 years, man. Right? But then after the 1,000 years, the other nations, they're going to get, lands, and they're going to have things and shit like that. They still going to be under subjection to the Israelites, man. But Esau Edom, after his hardcore slavery and his bondage, hey, he's going to be eradicated off the earth, man. Because you see, when you let these devils get the upper hand and they become rulers, you see what the fuck happens, man. These people cannot rule. These people are disgusting, man. Right? So the Lord going to do away with them. So let me get this last one. We're going to shut it down. This is Sirach chapter 27. Let's get Sirach chapter 27 and verse 26. Sirach 27 and verse 26. It says, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein. And these devils, they set up traps and dig pits for the Israelites to fall in. The Lord said, they're going to fall in it. It says, and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein. He that worketh mischief, who's that? Esau, Edom, along with the other nations. It shall fall upon him, and he shall not know whence it cometh. And these devils, they don't even know that they're being set up, man. The Lord got them in derision, right? The Lord got them in darkness. So shit's about to shift, man. And things about to make a turn for the worse for these devils, man. They think they doing their thing and they got shit under control and they enjoying this. But when it's turned on them real soon, they ain't gonna like it. So I'm gonna leave it there. Point is made. You know, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. To the next lesson, I'm gonna say shalom. And Jake, stay out of the streets, man. Stay away from these fucking protests, man. They ain't got nothing to do with you. This is these devils' issue, right? And you know, just keep your head down, man. Turn to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua. Seek the Lord. That's the time we in, man. Shalom.